Hi, welcome to Portage County Matters. I'm Patty Dreier, Portage County Executive. We're going to celebrate Veterans Day in this month of November with a show today related to helping vets find jobs. And I'm really excited about the guests I have with me here today. But as usual, I need to start with a couple of news notes and then we'll transition to the rest of the show. I promised you last month that I would be presenting the county's budget, the 2015 proposed budget for Portage County, and indeed the budget presentation happened on October 7th. I'd like to offer a few other details about the budget, tell you where you can get more information, and then we'll transition to our Veterans Day celebration on the show this month. The budget process is something I want to highlight first, and that is that on November 3rd, the Portage County Board of Supervisors will be holding a public hearing for the budget, and hopefully the budget will be adopted at that meeting. Nevertheless, I want you to know that the budget I presented is balanced, it maintains all essential services, and helps to keep us on track. We had good budget news this year. Notably, equalized valuation increased by 6.06%. That's over 4.5 times the percent of increase of equalized valuation in 2014, which had been 1.30%. We had lost value for the 2 years before, so it's really great to be on the positive side again with an over 6% increase. We are now able to put the Great Recession officially behind us, as we're back to 2009 property values again. We also had a slight uptick in net new growth in our county, putting the 2015 net new growth statistic at 1.26%. It was 1.24% last year, so it's basically, again, going in the right direction, a slight incline, and we're all happy to be moving in that right direction again. I'm sure it's a relief for every one of us. In the budget, I proposed a tax rate of 5.11, which means $5.11 per 1,000 of home value. This is a $31.50 decrease over 2014 on a median home valued at $145,300 in our county. Of course, this varies by equalized valuation in local municipalities and is only one part of your 5-part tax bill. But I don't know anyone who can quibble about a decrease in a tax rate this year. Our total operating levy for the 2015 proposed budget is about $22.6 million. We have a debt levy of about $2.2 million. As I've told you in previous shows, we pay off our debt every 3 to 5 years or so in Portage County. And we have an EMS levy of about $1.2 million. There's about $40,000 for bridge and culvert aid for those municipalities that participate in that program. We'll be doing a repair on a bridge in the town of Grant with that money this year. And all in all, the county budget as a whole, including grant funds and other revenues, is $97.2 million. That's a decrease, again, a decrease of about 18.6% from the 2014 budget. But that's mostly due to the completion of a number of capital projects for which we borrowed funds. The total tax levy is about $26 million then, and the budget theme that I presented at the budget address this year was that it was all about holding steady while Portage County charts a long-range course for the county, especially as it relates to physical facilities. Dealing with our master strategic plan, the whole idea of a campus concept, the idea of what we need in the way of jail space, how we have to improve our safety and our address our courthouse needs. All of those things are part of that grand long-range plan that I'm thinking about as we put together a budget to hold Portage County steady. If you'd like to learn more about the budget process, or you would like to read the budget book, and if you do from start to finish, I would definitely want to have a conversation about you. We have a lot of other great things to do in our community. But just kidding though, the budget book is really a lot better and easier to understand for an average citizen out there who doesn't have to just take interest in reading some spreadsheets. There's a lot of narrative too, and you'll be able to look at a copy of the entire budget book in its draft form until it's finished here on the county's website at the Finance Department tab. If you have trouble finding anything, give our office a call, 346-1997, and of course the area code is 715. And also a copy of my budget address appears on the homepage of the county's website. So again, I hope you'll take a look at that and you'll help to continue to shape it through the rest of the process, if not this year, next year, for it's your county's budget that we're talking about. Anyway, that is the news note that I wanted to give at the top of the show. Now I'd like to turn attention to my guest today. I've got Michael Clements, our County Veteran Service Officer, whom many of you have met on the show before. And we've got Jessica Maples from our Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development office in working for veteran services. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and let each of you tell a little bit about yourself, and then we'll segue into the rest of the show. Mike.
Well, as the County Veteran Service Officer of Portage County, there are many functions that I perform for the citizens of this county. My main function in county government and the position of County Veteran Service Officers are state mandated, and every county in the state has a County Veteran Service Officer. My main function is to assist veterans and dependents of veterans get all their entitlements that they have coming to them and that they have earned. That's what I do. I also help reservists and guards personnel with any education issues they may have, or claiming disabilities or any of that kind of thing. I'm an accredited veterans rep through the Office of General Counsel, the USVA. And I'm a rep for Military Order of the Purple Heart, DAV, Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, and a whole bunch of other ones.
You're a one-stop shop for veterans to access their benefits, and your office is located right in the courthouse, which is a great place for
I'm
folks.
on the first floor of the courthouse on Church Street, and any veteran or spouse of a veteran, dependent of a veteran, I'm there to assist them. They can come with any of their needs, whether it be disability claims, education claims, or if today's show is about veterans looking for work. So if veterans have work issues, they can come to my office, and if I can't directly help them with an education benefit or vocational rehab or something like that, then I can refer them to agencies that can help them find a job.
Such as those, nice segue, to the agency that you work for, Jessica Maples. So again, welcome to the show. I'm very happy to have you. Tell us about your position, and I know the name of your position is this long, and but it's a really important job, so I understand totally why. And also about you're a veteran as well. Just
yes,
like
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So thank you for having us here, first of all. And with my position, I've been in my position for 6 months, and as you stated earlier, we're with the Department of Workforce Development. So we are all state employees, and our office is the Office of Veteran Services. So we work on initiatives with helping veterans get training and employment. So our state is broken down into 11 WDAs, workforce development areas. And I'm the regional supervisor for the western portion of the state, which is from Superior down to Janesville. And I have 5 different WDAs, workforce development areas, that I take care of. So we have our staff also throughout the state. With this particular position, though, we're helping to manage the staff and make sure all that the initiatives for the training and reemployment are thoroughly put out there for our veterans. Like you said as well, I am also a veteran myself, and I'm actually still currently serving in the military. I am the only person in the office that is still serving in the military. So there's approximately 35 to 40 personnel, and I have been in the military for about 19 years now, and I'm currently serving as a Chief Master Sergeant with the 115th Fighter Wing out of Madison.
Thank you.
It's been a wonderful experience, and I think this also helps to partner with our agency to still have individuals with the military bringing that current knowledge and finding out what the current initiatives are.
Wow, wow. And again, both of you, thank you for your service. I know that lots of viewers out there know that veterans are dear to my heart because I'm married to one. My husband was on active duty for 12 years and is now a retired major after having done some time in the reserves as well. And I used to work for the United States Army in part of my career background. So again, always dear to my heart for sure. So again, thank you. Now, let's talk in a general way about veterans in our county. And because of Veterans Day on November 11th, I know that we do a lot of cares related to veterans cemeteries. And I wanted to provide some statistics, and then we're going to back it up because we know there's a whole bunch to do about caring for veterans that happens well before they reach their final place of rest. But in Portage County, it is kind of, I think, it's an extraordinary thing to imagine that we've got, what, Mike, over 4,000, 4,300?
There's about 4,300 veterans currently living
in our county. And of those in our cemeteries that we're going to put out flags for, it's 4,977. So we have more in their final place of rest than we do alive in our county at this particular time. And it's a big deal that we get out there and honor. And I want you to talk a little bit about our 61 cemeteries where we, wow, looking at the numbers of flags that we'll be posting across Portage County cemeteries this month and the help of the veterans service organizations that make that happen. Please tell us that story a little bit.
Well, one of the other functions of my job is I'm responsible for working with veteran service organizations throughout the county who place flags on the graves of veterans, excuse me. These veteran service organizations have many volunteers, auxiliaries, and other volunteers that help place these flags. My office provides the veteran service organizations. Some of the common ones you may know are like DAV, AMVETS, Vietnam Veterans of America, VFW, and those kind of veterans organizations, not to leave anybody out. But veteran service organizations provide a great service in that every Memorial Day they place flags on veterans' graves and they remove them typically 2 weeks after Memorial Day. So this is a great service that these organizations provide. I work closely with them. I also work very closely with the local funeral directors in all cases where veterans who may have passed away are entitled to death benefits payments. I work with we notify the survivors of these veterans, and they come into our office and we help them do the paperwork and get them the burial benefits and order markers and plaques for the veteran's grave where they're interred.
So this month, what's happening out there with all these veteran service organizations?
Well, flags aren't going to be placed in November. They're only placed on Memorial Day. But we celebrate Veterans Day on November 11th throughout the county. And one of those observances are going to be at the Pineries Room in downtown Stevens Point at the library. And it will start at 10:30 a.m. There will be presenters and honor guards from various veterans organizations will, with their colors, will be present. And it's a nice ceremony and it's a nice setting in the Pineries Room. So if the people would like to come out and pay tribute to veterans, all veterans, who whether they serve peacetime or wartime, this is a great opportunity, and it's a nice event.
Yeah, and sometimes there are different events and other organizations around the community as well. I know that we'll be having a Veterans Day honor time at the Portage County Healthcare Center, for example, this year, and I know that other organizations hold it as well. So, all right, let's transition to the job front. Jessica, tell us a little bit about, okay, so imagine I'm a veteran. I am coming back from active duty, let's say, and I'm looking for a job. Tell me about your organization's mission, and how the organization's structured in order to provide veterans with the support that they need in helping to land a job.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so basically our mission and vision is to advance veterans into the workforce through targeted business engagement. and effective employment services. So again, all of our staff that we have throughout the state are disabled veterans. So all of us have served, so know that. We get our funding from the Department of Labor, and then we are all state employees. So from there, we have to follow the guidance through the Department of Labor. And we have two different types of employees. We have the leavers, which are the local veterans employment representatives. Those are 11 people throughout the state. And what they do is they specifically go out and talk to the employers throughout the state. They target and network and do outreach with those businesses that want to hire veterans. Then the other individuals that we have work specifically with the veteran themselves, and those are the DVOPs, the Disabled Veteran Outreach Program representatives. Most of those two positions are embedded throughout job centers in Wisconsin. However, we have a few different locations such as Milwaukee and perhaps Toma, where we have our staff going more frequently or embedded there because there's such a high volume of veterans there.
So let's imagine I don't have a disability. Can I still come to you?
At this point in time, no, but we're all a network, just like you're saying, with Mike, with the CVSOs. So the big thing to remember is to come into the job center, and veterans get priority of service. So regardless of whether you're being seen by the veteran staff or the other job center staff, you get priority of service. What we have to do is screen you and find out exactly what potential barriers or issues that you may have to help meet your employment initiatives and goals. So we find out exactly what the concerns are, help you meet them, and then marry you up with that employer to set you up for success.
So let's talk about, let's say, Mike, that I came to your office. All right, I'm asking about my benefits having returned from active duty. And now you discover that I have an employment need right now. So how do you go about, how do you make the linkages and the referrals?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do as a county veteran service officer is evaluate that veteran to see what kind of educational opportunities are available through either the state, Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, or the federal VA. In the case of a disabled veteran, there may be an educational vocational rehab program called Chapter 31, in which that disabled veteran basically gets all fees, books, tuition, and everything paid for, plus a monthly allowance for housing, and they can pursue education in the hopes of being gainfully employed once their education is done. I would evaluate that veteran, and if I needed to speak, and I know we hate to use acronyms, but the DVOP, Disabled Veterans Placement Special Representative, if it's indicated that person is looking for a job, I'm going to refer them to that DVOP, and that representative from the State Department of Workforce Development actually comes in the room next to my office in the courthouse. They meet with veterans.
So this is like Jessica's staff members,
yes,
because she's a regional supervisor, a training supervisor. So her staff is embedded in our local community, comes and has regular office hours related to your office in the courthouse.
It's an as needed basis kind of thing.
And then you're able to sit the vet with that individual who can provide some one-to-one counseling, help them find the way, find the pathway to tap those resources.
Yes. Once that employment veteran meets with the veteran in the courthouse, there may be additional things that rep, once they evaluate the veteran and discuss with the veteran, may come to light, so then they may need to come back to me again. So it's kind of a back and forth thing that I collaborate very closely with these employment reps, and in Portage County, I've recognized the need. I really, there's a lot of needs out there, but I do want to focus a lot of my efforts on veterans employment. And an initiative that I recently came up with and put it before the committees was to have a dedicated room for veterans to do job searches. The AMVETS National would be donating a couple of computers for veterans to do job searches, and it would also give the opportunity for that employment rep to meet with veterans in the space.
Right, and I know about your efforts there and the efforts of Dwayne Miskelin, who's been working on those AMVETS computers, the computer grants, and trying to provide some mentorship for veterans that may need a little bit of assistance searching for and landing that job. Jessica, talk about the employers. How do you connect with employers? And, you know, are you out there recruiting on a daily basis? Or if I'm an employer watching, how do I get connected? Because I want to be part of the programs that you are working with.
Correct, absolutely. We do go out and we market, and we have career fairs, business symposiums. We partner with other agencies throughout the state. So we work together and we set up these types of events to bring in the new employers. However, we're also very cognizant and realize the power and the value of social media. So the majority of our staff are on LinkedIn as well. So we're also trying to find new employers through that respect as well. And it seems to be working quite well.
Great, great. You just had a job fair, Mike, that you were working with. I think there was a great story about a vet getting linked to a job just even the next day, I think it was.
Well, this actual occurrence was not necessarily job fair related, but it was, the veteran came to me and I went to the veterans rep and he just happened to have something, and the next day that veteran's employed. So I really encourage veterans to seek me out, call me in the courthouse, make an appointment to see me, stop by and see me, and we will do our best to get you in the right direction.
Talk about the veterans, the job center. Talk about, like I think our nearest job center is in Wisconsin Rapids, right?
Correct.
So
yes,
talk a little bit about how do I gain access if I need a little bit of help to get to the right place to be connected with these resources, if you could.
Yes, ma'am. So the Job Center Wisconsin Rapids is located at 320 West Grand Avenue in Wisconsin Rapids, and that's where our DVOP is located the majority of the time. So that's where his office is at, but then he goes to other outreach areas as well. So meaning he would come here to Stephen's point if we have veterans in need as well.
Sure.
So what happens when you come into the Job Center is, again, you get that priority of service, but you let the front desk know that you are a veteran. From there, we'll ask some questions and find out exactly what services you need. We also understand, too, that not everybody is just going to be forthcoming right away. It's a relationship building process.
That's a good point.
So as that relationship continues and grows, we then may find out, okay, this individual doesn't have employment, may have a service-connected disability, and then we may refer them to the CVSO, to Mike, to see if we can get them that benefit established and started. So it just depends upon what is coming out of those conversations.
Sure.
So either our staff can help or the job service staff will be able to help. It's just dependent upon exactly what barriers that they may have.
Interesting. All right, so what else would you like folks to know about the services of the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development when it comes to veterans?
So there are several different things out there that veterans can keep in mind. It's about knowing your benefits. So you start with the CVSO, they can give you some great benefits. We can as well in terms of employment and training. Some of the things to keep in mind are from a federal level. If you have a VA service-connected disability rating, you get preference points. So you can get hired into the federal system, keeping that in mind. Always remember, though, through that federal application process, that is a very unique process, and they like things really spelled out and really defined. So it is very important to work with that DVOP, the Disabled Veteran Outreach Program representative, to ensure that you are following things properly through that submission process. Then at the state level, we also have non-competitive appointment. So again, if you have that VA rating, service-connected disability rating of 30% or greater, you can get put into a state position through the non-competitive appointment. And we have those brochures and literature in our job centers, and the DVOP as well can help you with that process. So it's just a matter of going out onto WISC jobs, finding those positions, and working with our DVOP staff to see what is out there for you.
So what's your website? Let's just talk a little bit about gateways to more information before we we get to the end of the show and we regret we didn't even get there yet.
Absolutely. A couple of weeks ago, we just actually relaunched our new refreshed website. So we made it more user-friendly, more attractive, of course, and then made it so that the contact information for all of our staff is much easier to find. And again, you'll get to see our LinkedIn profiles there as well.
Great.
So our website is dwd.wi.gov/veterans. So if you go through the Department of Workforce Development and search for Veteran Employment Services, you will find our website there.
Excellent. And we'll see if we can get that along the bottom of the show here too, so that folks can see it and have a chance to write it down. What are the kinds of jobs? Let's talk about the specifics. What kinds of positions are you filling? Like maybe even in the last couple of months that you might know about, Jessica, through the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development, where you've placed some veterans.
Generally speaking, there are many employers looking to hire veterans right now, which is great news for us. Right now, there's a lot of, I will say that there's a shortage of CDL drivers. There's a lot of companies out there looking for those types of individuals, and manufacturers as well. So I don't really see any one particular group or area specifically researching or looking for those veterans.
Sure.
It's across the board. So for us as representatives, the employment representatives, we're trying to ensure that we're setting up that veteran with the right position for longevity and success.
All right. And while we're on the subject, okay, so I'm an employer. I hire a disabled veteran. Tell me what benefits I have coming to me, or how you assist me in assisting the veteran.
Absolutely. There's several different benefits out there for the employers as well. So again, it's just letting us know, hopefully before you hire that veteran is key, quite honestly, because we have what's called the Veterans Employment Grant. And that is currently a state initiative out there. If an employer hires a veteran that has that service-connected disability rating of 50% or greater, and the veteran is collecting unemployment, so they're unemployed, you hire that veteran on, over the next 4 years, that employer can get up to $10,000 back with the grant money. Wow. So that's one of the initiatives we have. We also have tax credits that are out there too, if you hire a veteran off of that Chapter 31. So there's different things out there, it just depends, but just make sure that you work with your local Veterans Employment Representative and let them know first that you want to hire a veteran, and you start that process so you can get that benefit for your organization.
I know that we've got a couple of minutes left in the show, and I just wonder, is there a phone number that if I'm an employer and I want to get connected with you, where would I contact you, Jessica?
Sure. So that number would be 261-8718, and that is my number to reach me at.
Excellent, thank you. And I know I'm just asking you on the spot. We've got about a minute to go as we wrap up here. Mike, any other last words you'd like to say about this in the veterans employment world?
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate, all veterans seeking employment, please seek me out, come talk to me, and whether you got a service-connected disability or not, there's help out for you. So I would like all veterans to, if they're having problems getting employment, to seek me out, and I can get them in the right direction.
Excellent. I want to thank you both for joining us, and again for your service to the country of this awesome United States of America. Thank you so much. To all the veterans who are watching out there, we so appreciate you, and all the family members of veterans, knowing that that's a tough role. Thank you for the support, the courage, the strength it takes to assist our veterans in being able to do that important job for our nation. And finally, I just want to let you know the show next month, we're hoping to invite Mrs. Claus to join us. We're going to talk about mental health and how she's working so hard to keep the spirits high in North Pole. We'll take some of those lessons right down here to Portage County. Hope to see you then. Thank you.